I'm not really sure how to start today's video, but I think I'm just gonna start by saying that even though today's topic is not very joyful and uplifting, I think it's something that's really important to talk about. And it's something that I wish someone would talk to me about much more when I was younger. And also, I just want to talk about it purely for the sake of it being an inevitable part of our lives, as much as we like it or not. So, today's topic is the topic of grief, loss, and change. I just want to start by saying that whenever I mention the term loss in this video, I mean it purely in the sense of someone passing away. I don't mean it as losing someone as a consequence of a breakup or ending a friendship, because that's a slightly different topic and I'm definitely gonna discuss it in the future. But in today's video, when I say losing someone, it purely means them passing away. So I think it's important to say for me that for majority of my life I was very lucky, and that for majority of my life, my childhood, my teenage years, and even my early adulthood, I went through life without really losing anyone close to me. And so maybe that is the reason why I have always been terrified of someone close to me passing away. I remember that I used to not be even able to think of someone passing away who was close to me without me getting really upset, and I would have really bad nightmares about my close family passing away, and I would wake up very distressed and very, very upset. I think I was not really much aware of what the role and purpose of death in our lives is. That was until recently, because last Christmas I have finally and unfortunately experienced someone really close to me passing away in our family. It was someone I knew my entire life, someone that was very close to me, someone I grew up with, someone I was seeing very, very often, and that person was suddenly gone. The day it happened, something completely shifted in me and in my life. Perhaps that's the reason why I chose the title of Finding the Good in Goodbyes, because although that experience was very, very upsetting, very sad, and partially very shocking, it was also something that I believe turned me into a better person who is living life in much more meaningful and intentional ways. I think that many times we perceive death as something negative, as something that is terrifying, that we are trying to avoid, that we do not want to experience. But I think that when the person in my family passed away, a lot in me changed and my life changed. My life shifted upside down. And I don't mean it by my life around me literally changing, even though, of course, that person passed away. And so my life without that person in my life is never going to be the same. But I mean it mostly in the sense of my mind shifting a lot. A lot of my priorities and a lot of my intentions changed the day the person left our lives. In my life, I've been chasing lots of things, and I've been chasing things that do not really matter. I have always been very, very career driven, and I was chasing career a lot before this person passed away. When she left my life, I realized that none of that really matters, that no matter what, no matter how great of a career I'm gonna have in the future, when someone really close to you leaves your life, that suddenly doesn't really matter, because it's not gonna give you the person back, and most importantly, it's not gonna give you the satisfaction that the person was giving you. I think when this happened, I did realize that I really need to choose my priorities and that my life is not spinning around one thing, and that even though I think some things really, really matter, they do really not matter at all, because one day I'll be gone, one day the people around me will be gone, and none of this is gonna be remembered by anyone anyway. So I think what shifted mostly in my head was my priorities, was my attention and my intention to pay attention to the present moment, because it's very, very fleeting and it can go like this. I think death might be partially terrifying, but I think it's also necessary because it gives us a certain timeline, it gives us a limit, and it gives us deadline to do everything we wanted to do and to live our lives the way we want them to live, and to really choose how we want to spend the limited amount of time we have here on this earth. I think death is what allows us to not only live but to be fully alive. Whenever you realize the finite state of you, the finite state of everything around you, you will start perceiving very differently. Suddenly, some things won't matter at all, and suddenly, some things will matter a lot. And it's only up to you what you choose to do with your time here and how you want to live it. You need to realize that none of this will matter once you're gone, and that maybe you want a new car, maybe you want that branded shoes, maybe you want that branded bag, maybe you want that starry career, but it's not going to matter one day. And these things won't remember you, but people and the way you treated them, how much time you spent with them, they will remember you. And I think that's something that I realized when the person very close to me passed away, that some things that I was chasing didn't really matter, and suddenly some other things started to matter a lot. I realized that maybe I do not always have to do work when I'm spending time with someone I love, because I just need to spend time with them and be present, because one day they're not gonna be here, one day I'm not gonna be here, one day none of this is going to matter.